Hey, 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 this is Jennifer Allwood, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, where we talk about creating a beautiful home and building a creative business. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Jennifer Allwood Show. Super excited that you're here with me again this week. You guys are such a blessing with your faithfulness and listening and sending me just great encouragement and questions for future podcasts. And I just appreciate each of you listeners so much. So listen, we're going to talk about something today that a lot of people don't like to talk about. All right. This might ruffle a few feathers. It may make you look at what you're doing as an entrepreneur or potential entrepreneur. And hopefully it'll just cause some self-examination, which will lead to some change in behavior, okay? Because self-examination is great, but at the end of the day, we're looking to change what we're doing so that we can make a difference in our life and the lives around us. So we're going to talk today, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. And you'd like to insert like the sound of drum roll. That would be so cool. I don't know if I'm fancy enough for that yet, but I need to. We're going to talk today about the hidden addiction of a lot of entrepreneurs, which is the fact that many entrepreneurs are serial learners. Like serial learners. Like, I'm not talking about cereal like Cocoa Puffs. I'm talking about, unless you're talking about cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I'm talking about the entrepreneurs who are just in a constant state of learning. Listen, you guys, if you don't think this is a thing, let me tell you, this is a thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's a thing, okay? This is a thing because learning actually makes us feel like we're doing something, and we are, right? We're gathering facts. We're gathering more strategy. We're getting more knowledge in areas that we are weak in. We're getting more information, more statistics. We're learning, right? And learning's good. And we've always been taught learning is good. And I'm here to tell you, learning is great. But I also want to tell you that here is what the problem is with a lot of people. They are in a consistent state of learning, in a consistent state of being a sponge, of absorbing more information, more data, more knowledge about how to start a business, how to run a business, how to get more efficient in their business, how to do Facebook, how to do Instagram, how to do the Snapchat and the tweet and the InstaFace and all the other things, right? And they're taking more courses, and they haven't finished that course, but they're on to another course. And now there's the next big shiny thing and the next thing they need to learn, and on and on and on and on. And the truth is, here's the truth. Somebody tweet this, okay? Somebody tweet this. Sometimes we're learning because we're stalling. We're learning because we're stalling. And the reason we're stalling is because we're scared. And we're scared because what if we fail? And I'm here to tell you that this is true regardless of what stage in your business you are in, regardless of if it's just at the very beginning and maybe you're still trying to, figure out exactly what your niche is and exactly what you want to sell. It's also very true when you're at my stage in business and you know what you're selling, you know what you're doing, you know what your niche is, but it's still sometimes you look and you think, gosh, I have so much to learn. But tell me and send me an email, my friends, and let me know if this is speaking to any of you. If I'm stepping on your toes, I'm actually really okay with that. But send me an email to podcast@themagicbrushing.com. When you're in a constant state of learning, the lie that we're telling ourselves is that once I learn X, that I can do Y or what have you. You fill in whatever math you want to right there, my friends. But that's the lie, that we're in this consistent, habitual habit of needing to consume more before we can start. And I'm telling you, that is a lie from the enemy himself. And you are self-sabotaging your future and your business right now because you refuse to take what you've already learned and execute on it. Here's a saying that I heard years ago that is so, so true. Okay, tweet this one as well. This is tweetable, all right? Implementation trumps information, or implementation trumps, what's the other one? Education. There's a million things that you can put in there. Basically, it just means that the doing is so much more important than the learning. It's so much more important than just the gathering of facts. And so I have some concrete ideas for you today, some things that you can do so that you can get yourself out of that holding pattern that you're in, where you feel like, that airplane that just circles and circles and circles, and you're learning, you're learning, you're learning, you're learning. You are getting smarter. You are getting more knowledge. But what you need to do is you need to get out of the holding pattern of learning and get into the holding pattern of doing. The doing, you guys, it's what's going to actually take your business to the next level. The doing is what's going to actually change where your family is today to where your family could be at in the future. The doing is what up levels you. This is what changes your business. This is what changes your life, is the doing. Here's the thing though, learning's not scary and doing is, right? So that's why so many of us stop with the learning. But I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can do to get out of that learning cycle, out of that addiction, that learning addiction that we can get into as entrepreneurs. Are you ready? Okay, write a couple of these down. Number one, pick a couple of the online groups that you're really getting a lot out of, the educational groups. Maybe they're free, maybe they're paid, maybe you're in mine. Okay, I hope you're in mine. Pick a couple of those to stay in that you get the most value out of, and then get out of the rest of them. Now, I know what you're going to say. I can't get rid of those. I mean, I get great information there. Okay, but remember, all of that information gathering is not doing anything to your business. And we are in absolute information overload. Here's what happens. Tell me if this is the truth. You'll be sitting at your desk. You'll be trying to write an email that you really need to go out to your list. Maybe it's going to have a sale in it. Maybe it's going to be, some DIY posts for your blog readers. Maybe you're introducing a new course you have, and you're getting ready to sit down and write that email. And the email is what's going to actually put dollars in the bank. Am I right? It's going to actually put food on the table. But you hear your phone dinging, and you hear your Facebook notifications going off. And you pick up your phone and you see that so-and-so posted in this group, and another 10 people in this group, in a group that you don't even really pay that much attention to. You're not even exactly sure, maybe even how you got in there, but somebody perhaps even added you. Maybe somebody in one of those precious MLM groups added you to their makeup group or their legging group or their makeup group or their whatever. And now you're getting all those dings. Okay. And so you're consistently and constantly being pulled away from what you really need to be focusing on, just by the ding, 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 ding of the notifications of social media. So then you're on your Facebook page, and perhaps, you're going through and you're looking at all the notifications from the group. And then you happen to notice you got a couple of notifications over at Instagram, and somebody commented on one of your Pinterest pins. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you still haven't gotten that email out to your email list. The email that could actually change something for your family. The email that could actually put dollars in your bank account. So my advice to you is pick a couple of groups and get out of the rest of them. I even tell this to the women that I coach in my inner circle. I allow people in the inner circle to ask any questions that they want to. I'm not the one that answers them every month, because we probably get 30, 40 questions in there a day. With over 500 women in that group, it's got a lot of activity in it. All right. And so these are passionate, creative people. So they have lots of questions and lots of things they want to talk about. And I love that. All right. But I even tell people in my own group, your overwhelm is your responsibility. As a creative person, when you get overwhelmed, what normally happens is you're going to begin to want to shut down. That's how God wired you. Okay. So the shutdown is a self-protection. So you have to control how much you're taking in so that your overwhelm level doesn't go to boiling point. All right. So that means all of those notifications from all of those groups, including even mine, if you belong to my inner circle, turn them off. Come to the group maybe once a day, maybe twice a week, whenever it's convenient, but don't be having that stuff ding you consistently. Get out of a lot of that stuff. Find what you need from my group or whoever else's, learn from it, get out, go execute. That is the order of things, okay? Number 2, free up your inbox. Oh my goodness. Did you know that you can use unroll.me, I believe is the website, that will help unroll you? Is that what it is, or is it unenroll? You're going to have to help me out right here, friends. I might be unenroll. I think it's unroll.me. But it will help you to unsubscribe from chunks of emails at a time. I know that I have been so guilty in the past of signing up for every bright, shiny thing and every coupon from Bath and Body Works and every email from great marketers and getting in all sorts of free content classes. And my email is just going off the charts. Okay. And then what happens is, as creative people, we open up our inbox and we're overwhelmed. And what do overwhelmed creatives do? We shut down, all right? We don't focus on the stuff that matters. If you're someone who loves lists and who loves the high that you get from checking things off, then you instinctively, you're also the person that loves a clean inbox. Okay? You love a clean inbox. And so, when I've got all these things coming to my inbox, I can't wait to get them out of there. Therefore, I'm starting to read, and now I'm getting down, to where I've taken 15, 20 minutes to go through several emails from people whose content is fantastic. But listen, I don't need more content. You don't need more content. You don't need to be digesting more. You need to be putting more out into the world and working on building your own business, not just gleaning from the ideas of everybody else. So free up your inbox. Get out of some of those things. Get out of some of the groups. By the way, did you know there is an app that you can download for free? I believe it's just called the Group app on the iPhone. So go to your app store, look for Group app. It'll show you every group that you belong to on Facebook. And it is going to be a huge eye-opener from you. You may not think you're getting a ton of notifications, but when you actually open up that app, you're going to be like, what on earth? Who put me in 78 groups without my knowing about it? And let me tell you, a lot of the groups that you're in, you have been put in by people who didn't know how to do business well, who weren't taught that that's not good business to add people to your group without their consent. And so you're in a ton of groups for things you didn't even sign up for. And so get out of all of those. Listen, at the end of the day, you gathering more information does not matter. You taking another course does not matter. That's not the thing. There's not this one thing, you guys, that's going to be the turning point that if you just knew this, then everything else is going to click in your business. That is not the case, okay? I can say with all 100% assurity that if you'll just take what you already know and start to implement that God can completely fill in all the gaps that you have in your knowledge. In fact, I ask him on a regular basis, Lord, make me smarter than I am. Because there's no way for me to know what I just do not know. You know what I'm saying? And so God doesn't need you to know more in your business. He just needs you to move. He just needs you to do. He needs you to be obedient to what he's called you to do in your business. And that is not digesting another book on Audible. That is not downloading another podcast on the podcast app. That is not listening to another Facebook Live rah-rah session, even from me. Even for me, I'm trying to do them Monday through Friday right now. What you need to be doing is actually committing to getting off the learning crazy cycle and committing to starting something in your business. At the end of the day, ladies, and I know I'm talking to a couple men, but mostly ladies, you already know enough. Okay, I want you to let that really sink in for just a second. You already know enough. You have enough knowledge. You have enough experience. You have some strategy. You know enough to start. Am I right? And so while learning is really a good thing, and I would never try to deter people from gaining, more knowledge, but what I am trying to do is to get you off the crazy cycle of digesting more and more and more and never starting. The never starting is the part of your business that if you can't get past that initial hump of doing that next hard thing, it's going to be so hard, you guys, to grow your business to the next level. And I say that with every ounce of love in my heart. But at every level of your business, you're going to be faced with that resistance where it feels really hard. Okay, where it feels really hard. And as a creative person, let me take this even one step further. As a creative person, God created your mind to be bouncing around like crazy. I'm always talking in my inner circle about how it's similar to like a pinball machine, okay? That's the way God designed the creative mind to work. He blessed you with the ability to come up with an idea. Creative people do not lack ideas. How many ideas do you have floating in your head right now for a new sign you could make? Or a new paint finish that you could do, a new song that you could sing, a new recipe that you could make. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You do not lack ideas. What you lack is taking the idea from idea to execution. And so let's start about talking about some strategy, okay? So how can you actually start doing? Well, do some of the things that I told you earlier. Pick some groups to stay in, get out of the rest. Clean out your inbox. Don't download another book. Don't listen to another podcast. What I really want for you to do right now is take out a pen and paper, and I want you to figure out what one thing requires my focus in my business to take my business to the next level. Now listen, it's not doing Facebook Lives. You guys know I love Facebook Live. I'm coaching women all the time about the value of going live on Facebook, but doing the Facebook Live is not the thing. Okay, what's the thing for you? What's the thing? What's the big, hard, scary thing? We call that BHS in my inner circle. What's the big, hard, scary thing? Is it opening up another location? Is it beginning to ship furniture to other parts of the United States instead of just locally? Is it becoming a vendor or a booth, having a booth in a vintage shop? Is it writing an ebook? Is it starting a course, an online course? What is the thing that you know, and only you know, is next that's scaring the daylights out of you? That you have lied to yourself and told you that once you can figure out how to do it, then you'll do it. No, honey, you've had this idea for the last year or two. It's time to execute. So I want you guys to send me some emails, okay? Email me at podcast@themagicbrushinc.com. And I want to know from you, what's that thing? What's that one thing that's preventing your business right now from going to the next level? And then I want you to take it one step further. And I want you to let me know what you'll commit to in terms of strategy to take that from just idea to implementation. I want you to give yourself a drop dead date. Drop dead dates are one of the best things that I can give myself. There are a fragment of people in this world, such as myself, who were quick starts. If you've ever taken the Colby test, you'll know exactly what a quick start is. And so as a quick start, I work best on the fly, kind of last minute, which means that I have to have a deadline in order to be able to get some stuff done. If I just think, oh, at some point I'm going to relaunch my Paint Finish of the Month Club, which by the way is relaunching in just the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to relaunch it and it's going to be great and we're going to have all these guest instructors. I'm going to teach people a couple of paint finishes a month and it's going to be fantastic and I'm going to get to it as soon as I have time. Listen, the saying as soon as I have time or when I get time is one of the biggest lies you will ever tell yourself. Because time is not this magical thing that's just going to show up in front of you and you can go ahead and fill it in, okay? The life doesn't work like that anymore. You've got to fight to make time for the stuff that really matters. And so for me, I have to set a drop dead date. This is the deadline. This is the date I'm committing to. And then the third piece of it is this, okay? So you're going to set your drop dead date. And then the third piece is this. And do not, I repeat, do not forget this one. It's almost the most important. You need to start telling people. And the reason you need to start telling people is this. Accountability is a crazy thing. It'll make you go ahead and follow through on some stuff that you would rather not. But the truth is you don't want to look like a schmuck with egg on your face and not doing something you said you would. This is why many of us will start a new eating routine or a new gym membership or start training for a 5K, but we don't tell people. Because then if we tell people, they're probably going to hold us accountable. They're probably going to check in. Hey, Jen, how's that 5K training coming? Hey, Jen, how's that Paint Finish of the Month Facebook group coming? Did you get that launched like you said you would? Hey, Jen, how's that no sugar thing going? When you start talking about like stuff, people will start asking you and then we feel convicted, okay? Well, let me tell you something. Conviction can be a really good thing. Conviction can really be a good motivator for a lot of us. And so I want you to pick the thing. I want you to pick the big, hard, scary thing. Then I want you to pick the DDD, the drop dead date. And then I want you to start telling people. So if you want to send all of those to me today in a podcast, I can be the first person you tell. Send it to podcast@themagicbrushinc.com. I would love to get that email from you. So I hope that that is helpful for you guys today. Again, I am someone who loves learning. I love learning new things. I love digesting things. I love, reading articles. I love reading books. I love listening to podcasts. I love all the classes and the courses. I love it all. But don't ever put all of that learning above executing. because you already know enough. You don't need to know more. You need to do more. Okay? God's going to equip those that he calls. So if he's called you to do something, he will absolutely bring the right resources and people right alongside you in your time of need. You don't need to learn a lot more before you begin. All right? Some of your futures are dependent on this. And I'm super sincere when I say, I hope that if this podcast spoke to one precious woman today and it motivates her to quit learning and start starting, then I will have done my job and I'll be thrilled. So bless you guys. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing this podcast with your friends. Maybe this didn't apply to you, but maybe you know someone who really needs to hear this, who needs to get out of the cycle of the learning addiction and get on to executing. And if so, would you share this with them? And if you get a chance while you're over at iTunes, if you could also leave us a review, boy, that would just bless my socks off. Those iTunes reviews are how iTunes, shows your content to more people, how we get podcast sponsors, and it just really would be a blessing for me and my whole team at the Jennifer Allwood podcast. So thank you guys for being here, and I will be back with you again next week.